Old McMartian had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
And on that farm, there were some Methodists.
E-I-E-I-O. With a rutabaga here and a rutabaga there. Here a bega, there a bega, everywhere a rutabaga old.
This is actually the national anthem of New Augustana.
No!
Church in space.
All right, welcome everybody to Church in Space.
In 3D.
Previously, on our last episode, we started the community of New Augustana.
That doesn't sound movie enough.
What?
That doesn't sound like movie
Yeah,
enough.
it's got to be.
Previously.
Previously on Church in Space.
You have to have that little pot. Previously on Church in Space.
What is it? Previously on Church in Space.
God help us.
Well, we got that out of the way early.
We got
Yes.
that. Yeah.
I've told my wife at least once an episode, Drew and I get you to say, God help us. And you always
do this-
say, it's a prayer.
It is a prayer. To do this properly. Previously on Church in Space. We founded the community of New Augustana on Mars. New Augustana is a Martian colony taking advantage of SpaceX's Martian colonization program for the masses.
And have you been working on the national anthem for New Augustana?
I have not.
Yeah, we didn't discuss
We need to
this.
come. I assumed it was a mighty fortress is our god, but
Oh,
you know,
heavens, no.
I have a different idea.
What?
It's in the ELW.
what?
Oh, Canada.
No, I veto
An
that.
idea. I didn't say it's an actually a good
I'd
idea.
like Augustana to the tune of Oh Canada.
No.
Augustana,
Yeah, there we go. That can be fine. We can
our
do it.
home and native dome.
The patriotism is just soaring within me. On our within our realm of Mars here, we have a couple neighbors. We have the city of New Jacksonville, which is just filled with people who regret their life.
I call it New Jack City.
New Jack City,
Yeah,
right?
that fits better.
We also have Johnsville.
Yes, yes.
And so we've set up a little trading mission, which was one of our projects, which will be done in 3 turns or 3 weeks. We have set out on our trading mission. We have domesticated the tar flubbers. If we remember, that was the tar flubber-like substance that is just as chaotic, but we have managed to domesticate them through the power of liturgical dance. Pastor Frasier, who is head of this community, loathes liturgical dance, but if it allows them to domesticate the tar flubbers, he sucks it up like every pastor does. Other little details, we've hit a giant cave in the Cliffs of Sanity, but also there's a project that we just finished of building the stairs up to the top of the Cliffs of Sanity to begin construction of the cathedral.
Yes.
Because we need a big Lutheran cathedral. It's just necessary. And that's pretty much...
So remember, we got the sandstorm just abated.
Yeah.
Right. The sandstorm just abated and uncovered a mystery box of glowing Twinkies, right?
Yes.
That was the theory.
Glowing
Then it was
Twinkies.
Niles, the young boy, digging that up. And about the only practical project that's going on in this community is in 2 weeks, we are turning our abundance of iron into tools because we dug up the iron ore and we are turning them into tools to grow either hops or rutabagas, which this community is oddly obsessed with, even though we have no farming tools.
Well, we will, because we're smelting.
We're smelting. We're smelting away. We've got a little blacksmith hut going on. We're ready. And if we remember, we ended on the trouble in our community is that a new batch of colonists have arrived
Unannounced.
on the rocket ship, and it's all Methodists. We told them to go land at New Leslieville, but they refused. They wanted to be here, and so we have ecumenical relations to deal with.
Ron DeSantis probably sent him.
Yeah, probably. All right. Does that cover our little community here?
I think it pretty much does.
All right.
We didn't cover the greenhouse or the...
We built the greenhouse and we built a manure pit.
Yeah.
Those also exist in our community. But the greenhouse was we were jumping the gun a little bit because we had a scarcity of farming tools. but
we wanted to be ready.
But we wanted to be ready. So, council questioned it. But, they let the farmer committee, do its thing. So
Yeah. Being a Lutheran community, there are committees for everything.
Absolutely.
And subcommittees.
Right. Task forces, we call them.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes. There we go.
Yeah.
Thus endeth spring,
Thus endeth spring in
behold,
Augustana.
summer hath dawned.
Summer on Mars. How we tell it's summer on Mars?
The carbon dioxide ice evaporates from the northern cap, ice cap.
Yeah. Dan's doing our thing here. So, all right. So, Dan, why don't you start? We'll start with you this time.
Okay.
So, draw a card.
Pick a card, any card, and now we'll be drawing diamonds. If I'm
Yes, correct. Make sure your sheets are turned to summer.
I see before me the 3 of diamonds. This means summer is a time for production and tending to the earth. So either start a project related to food production,
I know what he's going to do.
or summer is a time for conquest and the gathering of might. Start a project related to military readiness and conquest.
Militarize the Methodists.
That's not a terrible idea. Or to militarize the TF
Both.
at the same time.
Methodists riding tar flippers.
But are they big enough? Is the TF actually like big enough to support a
They're
Methodist?
gooey. You just squish them together and make
Yeah, I
a mega.
assume like you
mega tubber.
you make a large horse-sized tar flubber, and then you have roving bands of Methodist hordes across the wild plains of bouncing around the wild plains of Mars.
I feel like it'd be more practical to have like shoes that the tar flubber could like attach to, similar to like a spring.
See,
so
I like
that-
the image of them riding it like one of those giant bouncy ball, like
Yeah.
yoga balls.
Yeah.
Oh, like
you know.
in Futurama
Yeah,
with the brain balls.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's my image of what's going on here.
Okay.
It's your card, Dan. We shouldn't actually.
No, I think we've decided.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I'm going with that scenario.
All right.
So
How do we start this project, Dan?
we have to put the Methodists in having tubber drills
So we're gonna
so they can train.
so we're gonna build a camp for them, like a military camp.
No, they need to build character so they will build their camp.
Okay, got it.
We're treating the Methodists like we treat the Dirty Dozen.
So hold on, I just want to back up one quick second.
Like, you're condemned, but you get to build your own.
Yeah, like this is starting to go down a really dark path, Dan. New people literally are put into the army and having to build a camp.
Hey, you'll have a chance to draw your card.
Okay.
You have to draw the camp, though.
All I'm saying is these grunts are going to get down and build themselves a barracks as they bivouac on Mars.
On Mars. Can you bivouac? Okay. Yeah.
Now drop and give me 20. Make it 40 since the gravitational field on Mars is much less than that on Earth. Can't make it too easy on you.
All right. You got to draw a small drawing of a camp somewhere. Remember, we got to leave room for the rest of stuff.
I
so-
feel like a good idea would be putting it by the pit.
By the tar flubber pit or the
Yeah.
poop pit.
Either
We
or.
have 2
pick.
pits in this community.
That works because they'll have to build a tubber corral.
Exactly.
Around that
okay.
pit.
Okay. I like it. Yeah.
All right.
So you got to draw a little dome over the over the tent.
No, they're going to hold their dang breath while they do this.
No, it's glass doors.
It's glass doors.
Builds character.
I'm just saying.
Asphyxiation makes you strong.
That way their lungs can breathe in the Martian air and they're better soldiers. They're lighter weight that way.
There we go. All right.
There's a big tent
Yeah.
Yeah, a really big tent.
Big tent.
right here. And there's
Big
a
dome,
really
too.
big tent.
I think that's bigger than our normal dome. Better beware of the army. They might come and conquer. So I'm going to count that as your taken action, but you need to move the dice.
Yes.
All right. Good job. That was fun. My turn. 7 of diamonds, which is introduce a mystery at the edge of the map or an unattended situation becomes problematic and scary. What is it? How does it go awry? Ooh, man. I'm drawing this on the map, folks. So on the map is our oxygen-producing device. It runs to all our domes, right? And one half of our oxygen producing device is failing quickly. We've been ignoring it because we've been too busy going on trade missions with tar flubber and dealing with Methodists. And we didn't build a new one to account for, the increased population that came from physically active Methodists. So
Yeah, we better get that greenhouse rolling so we can siphon oxygen off the growing plants.
Right. So we're not out of oxygen because we've got like an oxygen storage tank here. This will be my discover something new. It's kind of like a fail-safe.
Was that leftover from the previous expedition?
No, it kind of came with our mission.
Previously on the expedition.
We need to solve that situation. All right, they're almost finished with their trade missions. We have built the farming tools.
Hooray!
So, yay to everybody. Farming tools are no longer a scarcity because we finally have all the farming tools that we need. That's my turn. So,
Number 8. Someone tries to take control of the community by force. Do they succeed? Why do they do this? A headstrong community member decides to put one of their ideas in motion. Start a foolish project. Ooh.
The chaos that could ensue from either option.
either of these, right?
Oh, man. Boy, there are cogs turning in Drew's head I've never
It's a
seen
hard
there
one.
before.
I would have a hard time with this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Because you can introduce a lot of drama with
Yes.
this one.
Great deal.
His name is Jason. Jason is the mayor of New Jacksonville.
Okay.
He is a worship of Blake Bortles. This is a reference
Dan is looking blankly.
Yeah, I'm
the
missing
good
something
place.
here. Okay.
which is a very good show.
It's a very good show. Blake Bortles is the former very mediocre quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the football team.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So-
And you're talking American football, not...
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The correct football.
Right, not soccer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Jason has amassed an army because he sees how our settlement is getting bigger and wants to take over. I feel like I don't think he's going to succeed because we have the tar flubbers.
Okay.
But
you got to paint me a word picture here. So there's a battle between
the Methodists, not highly trained,
not highly trained, but
and the tar flubber, which are highly trained because they were a warrior race at some point.
A warrior race.
They were a warrior race at some point.
So on the plains of Mars meet the armies of New Jacksonville and New Augustana. Okay, I'm for this.
Yes.
Great television.
Yes. And the
Take
tar.
note. Plug. Buy the rights to this story.
So the tar flubber and the Methodists go out
Uh-huh.
and defeat Jason and
Okay,
his
we need-
Floridian army.
New Floridian army.
Floridian army.
Okay. So
No, they're old. They're just a bunch of senior citizens.
it's a retirement colony. Yeah.
Some of them are, some of them aren't, but they're all rolling out in wheelchairs with weapons attached to them.
Okay. So it's like Mad Max, but with like walkers instead of the cars.
Yes.
Weaponized walkers.
Yeah, weaponized
Yes.
walkers. Okay.
No
So on
firearms
the
or
plains
anything.
of Mars erupts this Mad Max-like scene where
The tar flubber get in and jam up all the machinery
okay.
from the Floridian army.
Okay.
And so they're just stuck in the middle, right about where the iron ore is, just complaining the entire time
Okay.
until someone can come and pick them up.
They're just stuck there. Jason is defeated when the tar flubber charge and without their mounts, which initially seems like a bad idea, but they seem like they know what they're doing. And then they jam up all the machinery. Surprisingly, in this battle, they totally lose, but there's no loss of life because
Exactly.
this is a G-rated podcast.
Yes, because the tar flubber just know what to do.
Right, they know what to do, so they
They
jam up the thing. Jason goes back to New Jacksonville in
Utter defeat.
Defeat and shame. Okay, I'm for this. You got to draw. You got to draw.
And he is ostracized from the community as a result.
Okay.
The last thing we see is Jason in a pressure suit with a half hour of oxygen wandering off to the north.
Wandering off to the north. Okay, we've got a new character,
Got him
Jason. The defeated former mayor of New Jackson.
Yeah. He is now a Martian Ronin.
That would be giving him too much credit.
That's true. That's true.
But the legend of Jason lives on.
Defeated former bureaucrat. Okay, I'll buy that. That's a sweet little addition to our story. Okay,
So
you got to draw a little battlefield by the iron ore, though. That's the
Yes, because it'll become a memorial site.
right. Just some little wheelchair. Okay, fair enough. Remain hauntingly on the plains of Mars.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So our trade mission to Johnsonville.
Johnsville.
Johnsville. Yep.
Got it. That's been completed. So does that count as my action?
No, that's
Okay.
just. Yep. If you want to create new storyline,
I
use
want to
that.
start a project.
Okay.
I want to create a rail system between the three cities.
Okay.
Now that Jason has been defeated,
Yeah.
we need to reestablish.
That's true. That means that New Jack City is now a puppet state
No, they're
of
just.
New Augustana.
I wouldn't say that. I would just say that.
Well, like we just defeated their armies. We haven't.
Yes.
We haven't installed a loyalist
Yes,
government.
the young ones were just partying too much.
Yeah.
And their election process is who can drink the most at a frat party.
Technically, I think this means we've established the New Augustana Empire.
Yes. Yeah.
just for everybody's.
Yes.
And they will forever be our puppet state.
Yeah.
Because if you said the whole point is that who can drink the most, well, they're going to have some alcoholic beverage to drink.
Yes. They had enough vodka with them to last 7 years.
That's a lot of vodka.
Just enough for the next Ponfar.
Yeah.
Except half of it was used for a Molotov cocktail.
So now they eagerly await our rutabaga crop so we can brew our rutabaga beer.
Yes. Anyway,
So you got to put a dice.
it's going to be 3 phases. One's going to be New Jacksonville to New Augustana, and that's going to be 4 weeks. Then it's going to be 4 weeks back from New Augustana to Johnsville, and then phase 3 is connecting the two of them.
Okay.
I like it.
I like it. It's a good project.
Yes, that was a very eventful.
It was
Yes.
we had a battle and a memorial set up. And
Lots of history.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, I've got the 2 of diamonds. Someone new arrives. Who? Why are they in distress? Or someone leaves the community. Who? And what are they looking for?
It's a good question.
Who?
That must be it. You know, Bono leaves the community of Jacksonville.
His name is Bon. Oh.
Yeah, so Bono leaves New Jacksonville. Also, because of the defeat of the city. He thought that war would help him find whatever it was, but he still hasn't found what he's looking for. So now he leaves to the west.
Okay.
As opposed to
the east, where we are.
Or the north, where their former leader wandered off with a half an hour's worth of oxygen.
Okay. All right. You got to just you still got to take that was your card, so you still got to take your actions.
Oh. Start a project. And that is, now that we have the stairs in the cliff face, we are going to drill the prototype rutabaga hanging garden.
Okay.
And see if the rutabagas will grow unpressurized in the thick and richly carbon dioxide atmosphere.
Okay. How many weeks?
Can we
is
be in
this?
contempt if we disagree with this, or does it have to be in discussion?
You can be in contempt.
Well,
Okay.
but that would
Do
be
you
hold a
want-
discussion. I'm not holding.
That's
I'm
what
starting
my
a
question
project,
is.
not holding
Yeah,
a
no,
discussion.
that's what my question
So
is.
he's just starting it.
Okay.
Yes. So Maris has just decided we are doing the pro. How many weeks do you think that's going to take?
It'll be a 4-week project.
4 weeks.
Got it. It's just a
We're
question.
beta testing.
You can. Do you want to be in contempt?
I do not. Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm already in contempt. I'm the contempt king
You have one contempt. You're not at contempt.
in this game so far. That's contempt king.
Scoreboard.
Okay. My turn. Ace. A contingent within the community demand to be heard. Who are they? What are they asking for? A contingent within the community have acted on their frustrations. What have they damaged and why did they damage it? Is it permanent? Ooh. Okay.
Could be the Radical Underground from New Jacksonville, and they defaced the Walker Monument.
No, something more sinister.
Ooh. Oh.
So, like all good Lutheran communities, New Augustana has, since its foundation, been divided into...
Since its foundation 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been divided into what we call confessionalists and pietists.
Oh.
Confessionalists are people who want to stick to the Lutheran confessions. They're usually pretty by the book. And pietists are much more, who cares about the confessions? Let's do what I feel. And these two sides have coexisted under Pastor Frasier's leadership, but the pietists have grown very angry at the stair building project because they know that means a giant cathedral, and a cathedral is a stuffy place, and they want an out in the open worship space. That's what they desire.
Free range Lutherans.
Right, free range Lutherans. Yes, that's what they want. So they have.
Wait, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about free range and a dome,
Yeah,
or free range, like as in without a dome.
they think we've disturbed the Martian Earth enough, and they don't want the dome at all. Like.
There's the door.
Well, not all the dome. They just don't want another cathedral.
There's the airlock.
Yeah.
They don't want another cathedral dome atop the cliffs of sanity.
Oh, I was thinking we weren't building a dome.
Well, we got to have a dome for the cathedral, right?
No, you can make it airtight.
No, we could make it airtight.
And you have tunnels to get there from the dome.
I hadn't thought about that. But then why did we build the stairs?
So
Symbolic.
It's the stairway to heaven. I thought that was the whole point. I thought that was the whole point.
Cathy Niles, like all good church building projects, this is growing very vexed, or Pastor Frasier at this point. Okay, so what they do, what they damage is they damage the greenhouse.
Is it on fire?
Yep. Okay. How it's on fire on Mars, we don't really know. It's a mystery. They've managed to do it, but
it's staying aflame.
It's staying aflame because, again, it symbolizes
life.
Well, it's
liberty and the pursuit of open spaces.
Symbolizes conquering the Martian atmosphere rather than living in harmony with it. This actually,
i.e., dying.
Yeah, well, this isn't what real pietists are like, but I'm making fun of them because I'm not a pietist.
Okay, now I have logistical questions. I have very logistical questions.
Yes.
Okay. How is the greenhouse getting oxygen? Is it self-generating or is it being fed by the faulty...
Self-generating.
Yeah, I thought it was self-generating.
Okay,
that was my interpretation of so we're not even shorter, which is still a problem. We need to solve the oxygen problem. But so
grow more plants. Grow plants in the dome.
All right. I'm going to discover something new. As who was wandering out west again?
West was
Bono.
Bono, yes.
Right. As Bono is wandering out west, he kind of sees off in the distance. He sees the canyon of the crescent moon. All right. So that was my turn. That was the canyon of the crescent moon.
All right. And did you have an action?
Yeah, that was
the action.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm back.
Yep.
Okay. I see your reality and raise you one.
So out west is the canyon of the crescent moon. What is there? We do not know. Might be the Holy Grail.
Or Bono.
Maybe Bono is the Holy Grail.
Ooh.
Who knows?
No.
10.
Number 10. You discover a cache of supplies or resources. Add a new abundance. Ooh. A scarcity has gone unaddressed for far too long. Start a project that will alleviate that scarcity. Okay, so we have already started the projects to get rid of to help with the rutabagas and the beer.
Yes.
So now we need a cache of supplies or resources.
Oof. It's up to you, sir.
Could be hops mixed with the rutabagas.
Can sarcasm be a resource?
Technically, anything could be a resource, like an abundance. So,
Drew is crafting his version of heaven.
I'm just saying. Technically, when I first was figuring out how this game worked, I listened to a podcast where dancing was the abundance that they labeled for their community. They were short on food and wood, but they had dancing.
Lots of dancing.
Yes.
And they built a whole story around how every evening they came together to do a dancing routine. Really rather charming. You can do what you want.
Nah, let's not do the sarcasm because then it wouldn't.
It's okay.
So, starting a new project. Point of clarification: on my turn, is the greenhouse still on fire?
No, it is.
It is extinguished because it ate up all the oxygen that was in it.
Yes.
Okay.
So it needs to be repaired.
Okay, so it is going to be coming down, and a new, bigger greenhouse is going to go on.
Bigger greenhouse.
Yes.
Okay. So that's our project.
That is a project.
Faster, stronger.
How many weeks is the new, bigger, better greenhouse going to take?
5, because I'm going to go with an odd number instead of an even number.
I like that. All right.
It's very odd, but
That's going to be our 5 weeks for that project. Okay.
Okay.
discover something new.
Okay.
Discover something new in the cave.
Oh. Okay, what are we discovering in the cave?
In the cave, we have discovered drawings of the Tarflubber people.
Oh. Primitive Tarflubbers.
Yes, they used to be
A great civilization.
a great civilization that were more humanoid than they are now.
Oh.
But due to the lack of water, the only place that they could go was the tar pit. They all went into the tar pit and have become the tar pit.
One with the tar.
One with the tar pit. Okay.
There were other...
They showed up like raisins and then...
Yes.
Okay.
So are
Yes.
they like shapeshifters now as a result?
No.
Ah.
Well, shapeshifters or being
we
able...
haven't figured that part out.
Okay.
Yet,
Yeah.
you know.
But there are also drawings with with that show north, south, east, and west, cardinal directions of where other tar pits are.
Okay. And established canonically where north, south, east, and west are on this
Yes.
map. Okay. Fair enough.
There is...
No fudging on the map now.
Yes. There is a very large tar pit in the bottom southeast corner.
Right here?
Yeah, about there. A very large. Their city was...
That was their city.
It was their city. It was called Flubber.
Well, I mean... Okay.
Flubville.
Yeah. I'll say everything else has been a
we're
ville.
getting rid of the... Fine, Flubberberg.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm sold.
It became Flubberberg. But the only way that you know that is
By the way,
through...
that is what sold this whole thing to me, by the way, Flubberberg.
But the only way that can be communicated is through dance. It's the city with no name until you do the dance.
Flubberberg. Okay.
Which to us looks like ooze. Mm-hmm. They're all oozing.
It's just the
rhythm,
blob.
But it's
not-
flubber dance.
Yeah.
It's just them being still. They are constantly active, and the only time that they are still is when they are conveying Flubberberg.
Okay. So we've just discovered the great mother city of the Flubber, Tarflubber.
The flubber people.
Yes. Okay.
Dan, is that your card?
This is my card. And a valuable card it is. It's the 4 of diamonds.
Damn. I was guessing a 5.
The eldest among you dies. What caused the death? Or, the eldest among you is very sick. Caring for the men searching for a cure requires the help of the entire community. Do not reduce project dice this week. Well, I don't want to reduce...
Dan, are you okay?
Project time. Young man. And so...
Said the oldest among of you.
Actually threw him off his game on that one.
I know.
Good job. All right. Continue, Dan.
Well, I'm not gonna have the community come together to help somebody. So the eldest...
But Pastor Frasier is like, God, we need to work on community building exercises.
Trust falls, everybody.
Right.
So I'm combining 4 of diamonds options. The eldest among you is very sick, and then dies
Okay.
because the community does not rally.
Okay, what is this unfortunate soul's name?
Martin?
Yes. You knew exactly where I was going. Yeah.
Does he die in a chair?
Oh, was
Well, and that's what caused the death.
The chair.
no. What was the dog's name?
Eddie.
It was his allergy to dogs. He just didn't know it.
Just didn't know it.
No.
Okay.
Niles snuck up one of the glowing Twinkies, and Martin ate it.
Death by glowing Twinkie.
Death by glowing Twinkie.
Okay.
And
I feel like that should
That's
be
a good tie-in, a loose end that we've been.
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like that's a great tweet for our podcast.
Yeah.
Death by glowing Twinkie.
So Niles and Frasier come to their quarters to find a glowing Martin corpse.
Man, even the corpse is glowing.
Now even the corpse is glowing.
Yeah, I'm giving us all contempts though because we did not come together.
Okay.
Just
Some of us tried.
clearly there was a
but-
flaw in this community.
Yeah, I should get 2 contempts on that one because I insisted the community not come together.
Wait,
Fair
no.
enough.
Maris never told anybody. Maris was the one that found him and then never told anybody.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
We all should have helped him, but because of Maris.
Because of Maris.
I like that. I like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what happens.
Okay.
So my action will be to discover something new,
Then
and that is that glowing Twinkies make a perfect embalming
do we move the dice then?
substance. Yeah.
Okay, so I need pencil.
No, he draws the thing.
Okay.
So you got to draw.
The railroad from New Jacksonville to New Augustana.
You guys continue.
Okay.
I've been working on the railroad all the live long day. It runs right behind the greenhouse there, so it can
Yeah.
go right up on some
Perspective. I get what you're doing.
Does it go above, around, or through the iron? Or
There's a bridge that goes over it.
got it?
Big bridge.
Yeah, Dan.
It's like the largest structure.
Well, remember, you got 1/3 of gravity, so not a problem.
Dan.
Not a problem.
You can see it from orbit.
That's what I was gonna say.
NASA's planning missions based on.
That's right. They use that as a centerpiece.
It's like the bridge. It's coming into view.
You can see it from Earth
Right.
with the naked eye.
It's like the face.
Yeah.
It's like the face of
Right.
on
Like
Mars.
the face.
It's just a bridge.
They designed it to look like the face.
It was the face.
Choo choo, choo choo, boogie, woo woo.
I was imagining more like almost like a monorail, but yeah, I'll take a steam engine track. That's fine.
Now we got to invent steam engines.
Right.
No, the tar flubber. What's it called when the
The hand pump
the hand
cards.
one? Yes, that's what it is.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, so what's your action?
I was discovering something new. That was my action.
Okay.
And that is that the glowing Twinkies, regardless of whatever else they do, make a perfect embalming
Make
substance.
a perfect embalming substance. Okay, fair enough. That your turn?
Yeah. And then you hang your dead ones, your deceased, you hang them from the ceiling of your quarters, and you have an automatic light.
Where did the dice
Okay, that's
go?
really creepy, Dan.
Yeah, that's really creepy. Dice.
They went underground.
Okay, so we're on week 4 for here, and done. What was the other project?
She was beginning the Hanging Gardens.
Yeah.
What were you on for the Hanging Gardens?
I think that was it. I think it's one
Yeah,
week
it's
left.
one.
It's 1 week left.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. The Jack of Diamonds. Predators and bad omens are afoot. You are careless and someone goes missing under ominous circumstances. Who? Or, predators and bad omens are afoot. What measures do you take to keep everyone safe and under surveillance? Do not reduce Project Die this week.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, I will entertain.
Bono goes missing.
Bon O goes missing.
Suggestion.
But he already wandered off.
Right. All right. So we find Bono's oxygen tank just past the canyon of the Crescent Moon. It is.
See, that'd be a good site for a suspension bridge.
That's going to be a normal bridge, just a teeny little,
It's all we know how to build.
There will be no bridge, Dan. There would be no reason to go.
Mars was settled by Lutherans and infrastructure
Civil
projects.
engineers. Oh.
who only learned how to build suspension bridges
Right.
in engineering
Which is why we
school.
have mining equipment and not farming equipment.
So much is explained. Along with, see, this is what's really weird. You're by what is presumed the missing site of Bono, is that there are like tracks in the ground from an unknown creature.
Are they small tracks or big tracks?
They're big tracks. They're human-sized tracks.
Okay.
But they don't look like human feet, one. And two, like, you normally wouldn't think you would have found tracks because most Mars is sand and dirt, right? And there's wind, and you know, they would have blown over. But they're like almost like crystallized in the ground.
They were compressed so much.
Compressed so much that like it's almost like it's formed hard concrete over like where the tracks are, you know. And so,
Not to say that the creature was wet and left a
concrete like substance.
Yeah.
No, this is like clearly like a different. This isn't just like dried mud. This is like harder imprint kind of substance.
Okay.
Like concrete crystallite kind of substance that's left there.
Dan, don't lick it.
Yeah, don't lick it.
I feel like that had to be said. I've discovered
So,
something new.
Yeah, so that's our that's our predator. We don't know what our predator is.
Your tongue is a great chemical sensor. Very sensitive.
I'm sure.
It is. That's why babies stick all kinds of crap in their mouths, because they're using their tongues as chemical sensors.
Fair enough. Let's not emulate the babies on Mars.
You do what you do.
I'm counting that as my discover something new, the footprints part of it.
Okay.
And so the new greenhouse goes to 3. The first level of the hanging gardens of rutabagas are built. Everybody's actually quite impressed with Maris because somehow she's gotten rutabagas to grow
in the
Though we never
rarefied
see her.
atmosphere.
just like in the outside. Right, they never see her. She's in the cave all the time now. But somehow she's gotten rutabagas just kind of like grow out in the open air on the first level of the Cliffs of Sanity.
This is good. Which means they have serendipitously stumbled upon a means of terraforming Mars.
Evidently. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe
the rutabagas mutated it to
right, acclimate to Mars. And so if we terraform, they might all die. You know, we're not really sure how Maris did this because Maris is noticeably silent, as she usually is.
Yeah.
Silent and brooding.
The brooding Maris.
Yeah. All right. Drew.
Number 5. A project finishes early. What led to its early completion? Or the weather is nice and people can feel the potential all around them.
Just smell that carbon dioxide.
Just take off your helmet for just a little bit. All right.
The climate control of this dome is excellent this week.
Did someone reset the thermostat? This is just wow.
Wow, it doesn't smell like the pit of shit this
Yeah.
week.
Did nobody poop today?
Okay.
Okay, if you choose that one, you have to explain how the heck the weather.
Yeah, no, let's not do that one.
Okay.
The greenhouse got completed early.
Okay. Fair enough.
Now that we have the trade route with New Jacksonville, some of
do
the
have to-
residents felt bad for the fact that the senior citizens and Jason tried to conquer us.
Roving band of seniors.
Yes. And they came through the railroad and helped us out.
Okay, you got to draw our new greenhouse, and you have to name the new greenhouse because this is a church project, so it's got to be named after somebody. So, what is the name of our new greenhouse?
I think the Martin Fraser Memorial.
Wait, no. What's the
Mr. Frasier isn't dead yet, unless there's been a dramatic character update. In which case, we've got to form a call committee.
No, it's Martin. Martin.
Oh yeah, Mark.
What was the beer
Martin
that he
Fraser,
always
you're
drank?
right, you're
What was the beer he always drank?
Dave's going to look it up on his Google machine.
I am, because this is a good one. I like this.
Yes, it's the Martin Crane Memorial Garden presented by
Ballantine Ale.
Ballantine.
Ballantine.
Yeah,
Yep.
Ballantine.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, presented by Ballantine, the new greenhouse for new Augustana.
The Martin Fraser.
The Martin Crane Memorial Greenhouse.
Okay, I love it. Bigger, better, more beer.
Less rutabagas, more hops.
Which we haven't grown yet. Okay.
Okay.
What's your action, Jackson?
Okay, so now this is no longer fire because we have a kind of a crappy eraser, but now it is fairly large.
Right, we've expanded its size. Yeah.
And
With a railroad going right through the middle of it.
no, it goes underneath it, Dan.
Or behind it. I thought it was behind. It's perspective.
Okay, they
It's a glass greenhouse, so you can't really, it actually goes behind it. You're right. It just looks like it's going through the middle because the greenhouse is glass.
Right.
they moved it slightly.
Perspective, man.
So now, they moved the train tracks slightly, so now it looks like from
We're only halfway done with this season. We cannot discuss the physics of the greenhouse.
No, wait.
Okay, on the quantum level, when it reaches the greenhouse, it just goes straight through.
It's a quantum portal. Quantum tunneling. We could have done that at the iron ore. We decided to build a suspension bridge anyway.
And use tar flubber as a means of transport.
But we can do quantum tunneling. Okay. Anyway.
All right. So,
Why does a gelatinous substance like flubber need a rail? Who knows?
Right.
so phase 2 starts on the next railroad, and that is 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And that is your action.
Yes, that is my action.
All right. Then. I will draw my card, which is the queen. Mm-hmm. A project finishes early. Which one? Why? If there are no projects underway, boredom leads to a quarrel.
We have a project.
Okay, that was easy.
Yeah.
That was very easy. But the question is, why, Dan?
Yeah.
Why, SpongeBob? Why?
And I do think it's kind of funny that you had to draw both rail lines.
Huh. I'm sensing
Don't
a theme here. Yeah.
do it.
Sorry, if I have to draw it, that's what's happening.
Okay. Wait, why are you going through the greenhouse? You shouldn't be going through the greenhouse.
Well, I get this. The train station's over here, so you've got to
Oh, so we are turning the greenhouse into a train station now?
It's a combination greenhouse train station.
Yeah, you gotta conserve resources.
It's a joint.
Well, then, wait, how is it going to turn?
Well,
It's got a roundabout.
It's got a roundabout in there. We just.
That's a very huge. Well, I mean, we are talking about hand carts. That's what they're called, hand carts.
The hand carts. Yes.
Yeah.
Another suspension bridge over at least it's over the canyon of the Crescent
Yes.
Moon.
And then
And then
it
he has to go
angles
south.
over. This is
The civil
Chose the path
engineers.
of most resistance.
The civil
Who
engineers
funded this project,
purposefully
Dan?
designed this project so they're going over the
I
cliff.
think we should have had a vote. I will be in contempt for the suspension bridge. I have a
Who receives his second contempt?
for the sheer audacity.
Audacity and just uselessness.
Could have used them for more rutabagas. The money for the suspension bridge could have been for more rutabagas, but instead you chose a suspension bridge.
just wait till you see where the suspension bridge goes on the third line.
Oh gosh! All right.
Nowhere, because there is no suspension.
They'll build a suspension bridge just for the sake of having a suspension
You mean
bridge.
the whole thing is going to be a
They'll
suspension
dig,
bridge?
Yes. And they'll dig a tiny little pit here to justify it.
Okay, let's keep going, folks. So that was your
geez.
card. What's your action?
My action. My action is to start a project.
What's your project?
My project is to dig
my
an artificial canyon.
I am taking a contempt.
I'm the same thing. Oh my gosh, Dan. Dan.
The building committee, Pastor Frasier, is like the building committee has lost its mind.
And has lost us. The Methodists are now complaining.
The Methodists are complaining and thinking about holding a coup. All right.
We don't blame you.
How many weeks is your your artificial canyon has to take 6 weeks. That's my
Yeah, why?
Why 6 weeks? Because there's a 2 week
No.
break
Why?
in between.
why because he wants to build a suspension bridge over there.
Yeah.
That's obviously why.
They need a reason for a suspension bridge.
Oh my gosh.
All right. My turn.
Can we cancel projects?
Sometimes,
literally, can
sometimes
we?
cards are like a project fails. So that's when
Damn it. I think we went through them.
there are other ones in other seasons.
Okay.
All right, 6. Outsiders arrive in the area. Why are they a threat? How are they vulnerable? Or outsiders arrive in the area. How many are? How are they greeted? That's a good question. All right. So in the process of designing the the
Also.
artificial canyon, we discover that a new settlement has landed not all that far from us, which we're really not happy about because it's the new megachurch.
Why is everyone landing near us?
Because
They see
Because they can see our rail line.
Right,
we
we have infrastructure.
Yes, they literally can see us now, Dan. Before the suspension bridge, no one could see us, and no one wanted to be around us. And now, because of your bridges,
It's the new megachurch, pastored by Pastor the Edge. He's the guitarist from U2.
They built their dome, made it pretty fast.
Yes, they did. Well, because all it is a big box, right?
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
And so by the canyon there.
Yeah, right by the
well,
canyon.
no,
If
there
there's
is no canyon. It is just nothingness until he builds the canyon
It's in progress.
to waste more of the taxpayer. I
And
mean,
yes, his name is Pastor the Edge.
Pastor the Edge. Okay.
not Pastor Edge, the Pastor Edge.
No, Pastor the first
Pastor
name
the-
Edge.
Got it.
All right, Pastor the Edge it is.
Yes, Pastor the Edge. There
Pastor
he
the Edge on the edge of a burgeoning canyon.
is. You're right.
Is he on the edge of glory?
He's on the edge of an artificial canyon.
Theoretical. At this point, it's theoretical.
Right. It's a designed but not yet built. All right. They've got a design phase. All right. We're starting a project atop the cliffs of insanity. We are finally beginning the cathedral. Phase 1 is going to be the foundation, and that's going to take 6 weeks.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Drew, what you got?
So tell me what you got. All right. Summer is fleeting.
Yep. Which one is it?
King.
Summer is fleeting. Discard the top 2 cards of the deck and take 2 actions this week.
Okay.
Oh. That means we're also into this will be the
fall.
it for this episode because we'll be into fall now.
Okay. So I can take 2 actions.
Yep.
The first is this. I'm going to hold a discussion.
Okay.
All right.
Someone's going to get in contempt because he's not going to like it. At the council meeting,
At the council meeting.
At the council
okay,
meeting.
We'll call this the council meeting.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I have brought a potential project, more of a potential assassination attempt. No.
I've been to a lot of council meetings. I've never had one of those before.
First time for everything.
Yeah.
There are multiple seats on the council, including some Methodists at this point.
Right.
But the vote is for the engineer of
Are we voting to excommunicate the engineer?
We are voting to excommunicate the engineer and hold all projects.
Okay, according to
created by-
all right, I will lead this up. According to Lutheran constitutions, this is even in ours, the excommunication process is somebody has gone to the engineer and who we need to name.
Choo Choo Charlie.
Thomas.
Thomas the tank engine. Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
Thomas the tank engine. The engineer, he, according to our process, so he has been approached once in private. I assume this is the guy responsible for our
The artificial canyon.
Yeah. Challenging the wisdom of the artificial canyon process, which he has denied the challenge.
Because Frasier told him to do it. He's the engineer.
No.
He just does what he's told to do.
No. This engineer is like a title, like Franklin County engineer. This is the engineer.
Yeah.
No, he was definitely not told that. He definitely got his signal crossed.
Nah, he was told it. Yeah, it came
Otherwise,
through.
otherwise he would be doing the stairway to heaven.
Yeah, and in fact, he produces Form 37 stroke C,
Okay.
signed by
Pastor Frasier.
Pastor Frasier.
How did this go from excommunicating into an official bureaucratic
Well,
process?
we've got it. Well, because excommunications are formal bureaucratic. So this is his response. So okay.
Yeah, so so he's saying if you excommunicate me, you have to excommunicate Pastor Frasier.
Okay. Well, we're not done yet.
And
This
conceivably,
is just step
Pastor
1
the
in this.
Edge.
This is just step 1 in this process.
Okay.
So step 2, you have to approach with 2 witnesses. So this time, Pastor Frasier and our first witness show up, and Pastor Frasier says, "I didn't know what I was signing, and had I known."
And Roz.
Right, and Roz.
It's got to be Roz. Roz is the assistant minister.
Had I known that it was going to be a giant artificial canyon, I wouldn't have signed it.
And the engineer says, at the top, the title is Project to Construct a Giant Artificial Canyon. What was there not to understand?
And then Roz goes, hey, that's my signature.
Right. I thought it was a metaphor.
Niles!
Okay.
The great metaphor dome scandal.
Right. All right. Now, having been approached by 2 witnesses and have yet to repent of your artificial canyon project, then we hold public full vote, casting you out.
Okay.
As a tax collector and a sinner.
The vote is yay for excommunication.
To which the engineer says, yay for excommunication. I'm now a freelance engineer. He is a Ronin engineer.
And by punishment, you go to New Jacksonville.
And there we undertake a project of a mile-high suspension bridge that cannot be missed anywhere on Mars.
But wait, the first project has to be installing ramps on every single building for the entire senior citizen population because they had no engineer.
Okay. So that was, you have 2 actions. That was 1. We have excommunicated the engineer.
Okay.
But we signed contracts, so his project still has to go on. But we've excommunicated the engineer.
Starting a new project. I am ending the project.
All right.
Okay, no.
But if you want to do
sorry.
that,
Oh, I can't do that.
You can't do that. I'm sorry.
it's bureaucracy. It'll take you more time to cancel the project than the project will take
Can
to
my
complete.
project be fill in the artificial?
It can.
Okay.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Well, no, because it's only 1 week in. I feel like it'll only take 1 week to fill the canyon back in.
No, it takes a lot more than that.
Well, you're only 1 week in.
Except you've got to do an environmental study because you can't just fill it. You know, the soil.
Where was this environmental study?
Soil could collapse during a Mars quake. You know,
Where was this
It could end
environmental
up
study?
sucking in, past through the edges dome. I mean, you can't just now willy-nilly just because you didn't like the project.
On his way out, the engineer brings all these things up.
He does. He's probably technically correct. But I will
Plus, we had to sign a treaty.
I will allow a
with Pastor the Edge. So you've got to go through negotiations on the treaty
Except
again.
for the point of order, the artificial canyon was started before the discovery of the new dome.
Yes.
Which seems like probably something we shouldn't do.
But see, it's part of the reason Pastor the Edge picked that landing site because he was looking forward to the great scenic view over the
I'm not
canyon.
going to win this at all.
No.
You got to definitively give me a project.
Plus,
So
you now have the new Augustana, the new Jacksonville, and the John Jonesville.
All right,
tourism
this is the way I'm gonna get around
councils.
this. There's a way I'm going to get around this. Discover something new.
Okay.
In the artificial canyon's excavation,
Okay.
giant bones of a predator to which they were all huddled together, as in they were nesting in that one area.
Nice.
So
Those bones are very solid. They'll make good base for a suspension bridge.
So based off this new
Save us
discovery,
weeks of masonry work.
based on this new discovery, the project has been halted, not canceled, halted until more information on the predators has been found. Does that satisfy you, sir?
It pretty much does, but the only person who's qualified to make an assessment is the engineer.
No, you're
Not a paleontologist.
Yeah, he's not a paleontologist.
Or a biologist. That is.
I refuse to acknowledge that the only structural engineer on the planet is also the only paleontologist.
No, we're
He's
not.
the only scientist of any kind.
Oh,
I
really?
Because it's a
refuse.
religious colony.
We're Lutherans. And on that
It's not like the Vatican. You don't have Lutheran Jesuits with their own observatory and
we
all.
founded a space colony. I would have On that note, folks, this has been Church in Space.
In 3D.
We'll return to New Augustana next week. I think we all get content for that.
I feel like that's a great note to end on. Hey, Dan.
Yeah, Drew.
Did you bring the environmental report?
I need oxygen.
Well, it's broken. We haven't fixed it.
There is no. We need to fix that problem next season.